even if some of the ideas might not work. Convergent thinking asks why. Divergent thinking asks why not. Now, it may seem like these two approaches are competitive, but they actually go hand in hand. Often teams will use divergent thinking to generate multiple ideas, followed by convergent thinking to analyze and narrow down the ideas. And then later you'll use divergent thinking to come up with fresh perspectives, followed by convergent thinking yet again in this ongoing cycle. Both are necessary.
Okay, so yesterday we were just looking into SDGs. So as I just told you that we'll be looking into convergent divergent thinking, and recently you just saw this video. What does it tells us? What is the difference between divergent thinking and convergent thinking? So I know, just a second, I'll just move this. Yeah. Okay, so probably you have seen this video, but I just show you this video again so that you can understand this video. What is difference between those exact thing? Let's see again.
Imagine you have a problem that you need to solve, and you're looking for innovative solutions. In this moment, there's a good chance you'll choose one of two cognitive approaches. In 1956, the psychologist J.P. Guilford coined the terms convergent thinking and divergent thinking to describe these two contrasting approaches. Convergent thinking is linear and systematic, while divergent thinking is more web-like, focusing on the connections between ideas. Convergent thinking narrows down multiple ideas into a single solution. On the other hand, divergent thinking expands outward by generating multiple ideas, often thinking like a hacker and using materials in parallel ways. Here you treat barriers as design opportunities. Convergent thinking tends to be more focused, while divergent thinking is more flexible and iterative. Convergent thinking is analytical and focused on what's best. By contrast, divergent thinking is more open-ended, and participants are encouraged here to take creative risks, even if some of the ideas might not work. Convergent thinking asks why. Divergent thinking asks why not. Now, it may seem like these two approaches are competitive, but they actually go hand in hand. Often teams will use divergent thinking to generate multiple ideas, followed by convergent thinking to analyze and narrow down the ideas. And then later you'll use divergent thinking to come up with fresh perspectives, followed by convergent thinking yet again in this ongoing cycle. Both are necessary.
Okay, so you see this, saw in this video, and probably you might have got some rough idea on what is divergent thinking and what is convergent thinking. The convergent and divergent thinking are two opposite styles of thinking that work the best when used together. So what happens is, when convergent thinking is a straightforward and a linear process to reach the solution for a given problem. So what if the problem is arise, and if the problem is given to you to solve it, then what do you do it? You just think on the convergent thinking. So on other hand, the divergent thinking is the process of considering multiple ideas at the same time and arrive to a creative solution. So we'll just look it out in the differences what convergent and divergent thinking is. The characteristics of the convergent thinking are speed, accuracy, logic, systematic, focused. Whereas in divergent thinking is spontaneous, free flowing, non-linear, web-like, flexible, and iterative. So what happens in convergent thinking? You just speed up things. You just grab lots of information with the accuracy or accuracy of thinking. You just apply think logically and with a systematic way, with a linear format, and just focus on a particular solution in order to get proper solution. Whereas in divergent thinking, spontaneous, you can, like, flexibility, adaptability, all those kind of skills are also be also indulged with this divergent thinking. And free flowing, as I told you, like, if you can say, like divergent, like, like spontaneous or adaptability, or you could just think of any other thing, just is free flowing go. It's not in a restricted way, or it's a non-linear way process. It's a web like connected web like structure, which like each and every ideas are interconnected, and it's flexible, iterative. In convergent thinking, it's you use the method that are successful in the past, then apply. So in convergent thinking, the ideas which were successful in the past, the same kind of ideas you tend to apply in the present situation, whereas to get in the proper solution in the convergent thinking. Whereas in divergent thinking, just try to figure out the new ways, try to solve the problem, come out with a new other creative format of ideas. You have the lots of free flowing ideas going in your mind. You collect all those different ideas to form a single solution. So all this happens in divergent thinking. So in convergent thinking, what happens, you narrow down multiple options. So even though you have multiple options, you narrow down to one single multiple option in order to get the solution. Whereas in divergent thinking, you expand your ideas into multiple options to get a single idea. So like for example, if you are into solving a mathematical equation or something. So either applying convergent or divergent thinking. What if the convergent thinking says that you have to solve it a problem within like using by a division method or something for xyz. Like whereas in division method, you can the problem is you can solve it by adding plus minus multiplication division anything, but just you need to come out with a solution for the x. So that's what is divergent thinking. And in convergent thinking, again, it has a no limited number of solutions. So it doesn't have number of solutions again in convergent thinking. But whereas in divergent thinking, you have unlimited of solutions, whereas it may or may not be related as well. So in this no this free thinking, or the three modes of thinking, lateral, divergent, and convergent thinking, what happens is in divergent thinking you use imaginations. So based on idea, when you have a question, so to solve that question you just tend to have ideas. So you try to solve or bring the solutions based on these ideas. So when you have a different kinds of sets of ideas, so using those ideas you try to solve this question. That's called as divergent thinking. Again, convergent thinking. So convergent, what happens is when you like say that what if I say you have to travel from one place to another, and you start thinking on the convergent thinking format, and you just tend to collect all the facts. Just like for example, how do I move from place A to place B? So the fact is that you have metro, then again you have auto, then you have buses, then again you have cars, or you have bikes, or you have cycles. So you depend on the facts which are available. So so all these facts help you out to give out the solution. Okay, in divergent, if the same case is given, you tend to create a new ideas. Apart from this, is there any other way if I can go out? So that's a divergent thinking process which happens to it. So from this activity, we try to understand that divergent thinking is actually is also called as creative or horizontal thinking. And in convergent thinking, it's also called as creative, vertical, analytical, linear thinking. So all these thinking can also be segregated into ideas to questions, or questions to ideas. That is divergent thinking. Again, facts to answer, or answers to facts. So that's convergent thinking again. Now let's understand. Now let's see into understanding the problem and the users one. So we'll be looking into asking questions to find out information, asking questions to encourage people to talk, be an interviewer. Okay, so what happens is when you ask questions to your users or your friends or your families, you understand the situation or you understand the question. Then as an interviewer, you tend to learn, or require adapt more information. So what happens, you understand the knowledge, the problem, the situation, what is happening, what kind of questions are there. For example, if I say heading like or questions, then you say, for example, I can like if I'm an interviewer, or if you approach to an interview, then you get to know educational backgrounds, then weird and interesting food habits, likes and dislikes, something unique about their family. So you all, like if I say, like tell me about yourself, then again you tell your educational backgrounds, right? So that's a way of format. So being an interviewer, you just tend to know more about your family and your background thing. That's what happens, right? So asking questions that encourage people to talk. So what happens is, when you ask people to when you ask questions that encourage people to talk. For example, there are two different types of questions, like open-ended questions and closed-ended questions. So now, what is your favorite food? So that's an open-ended question. So favorite food can be anything, right? They can be anything. There's you can say pastries, there's a mouth-watering cake, or you could say the samosas, or you could say pani puris, or anything. So you could say a favorite food has varieties of options. So whereas in close-ended food questions, like do you like eating rice? So eating rice is only the close-ended one. So you don't have any other opportunities, or you don't have any other varieties of options to explain what is it. And you don't have any other words to describe more on it. And whereas in open-ended questions, again, you can describe about your house. Can you describe your house? If that is a open-ended questions, then again you describe your house in a different manner, like you have 3 BHKs. Again, you stay with your family. Again, you have a swimming pool at the backyard, and then again you have a dog with your name some Tommy, vagera vagera. Then you can just describe it. It's a blue structure, it's a 3-story building. Again, you park your bikes, your favorite cars or something. You just have that much of lenient space. All those kind of describable words can be put up into open-ended questions. Whereas in closed-ended questions, just like how do you live in a big house? So if there's a situation that the big house is a closed-ended question. So like, how big is your big house? Like you can say, yeah, my house is around 60/40, as much as that big. So that's there your and answer is given a full stop over there. Then again, what's open-ended questions? Then again, if there's a question like, how do you feel when your shop is open? Hello, okay. See, what if you go to a grocery stores, or you go in a supermarket? So you have varieties of options. You get to have lots of options to which you need to buy, which you need to consider. Again, so you see the lots of options. Then again, you remember and you see the products, and if you feel it nice, or if you feel it worth, then again you purchase it, right? Then again, in open closed-ended questions, were you happy in the shop open? Like like if I just ask you, like if the shop is open, were you happy? So again, it's a close-ended questions if you are not satisfied as well, but you just have to say by yes or no, right? Then again, in open-ended questions, then why did you decide to move on a bigger town? So you have a varieties of options, like you say, have my like I have a company located in that area, and have facilities to travel easier, a lot faster way, and I could reduce my time and vagera. You have lots of options to give out the answer or to the questions. But whereas close-ended questions is, you decided to move a bigger town for a job, right? So you just again you have a small a circle of answer, or a small circle of words to describe about your question. Then ask more details, encourage people to talk for more, asking questions like why and how. For example, if I consider a case, like if a person is he's just a heartbroken guy. If I ask you, like what had happened, why had it happened, since when what caused you to do and get into depression thing. Just asking him why and how, just ask, like making him answer, making him encourage to answer that. He probably might feel better there, or like at least he would have feel that, yeah, okay, someone is there to take care of me. So that provokes him to ask more details. Then that is open-ended questions again. Then take time and ask questions to find out what interests or troubles people have the most. Yeah, just as an example, I was just saying, like if the person is a heartbroken guy, and you just take out your time and you just ask questions like, that's what happened, what might you to be get into a depression, and what was the trouble which had happened to you, just asking questions, it actually helps him to understand, you understand the situation, what's running on his mind, and you make that person smile and feel comfortable, right? Then again, let the other person talk. Yeah, as an example, I just told you, if the person is a heartbroken guy, and instead of you understanding his point of view, or instead of understanding his what you can say, his situation, his worst situations, what happened, if you say, you shouldn't do done that, you shouldn't done this, then again, if you just keep on speaking up, then again the depression keeps enhancing him, or you just you won't be able to bring a smile on his face. So just you don't need to ask a hurry burry questions, and again, in order to complete your questions. So you should make it feel make him or her feel comfortable. Then again, ask comfortable questions so that you understand his interests, troubles. So you ask more details. So that's what happens. So in open-ended questions. um so as an interviewer, like if you go to an interview, what happened if the interviewer is so nice and he just being so chill mannered, where like if he says, no, come on, you do this, you do that, and just tell me about your parents, if you just ask you in a strict way, then what would you answer it? You just have a constrained way, you have a constrained words, you don't have lots of you don't have expression, or you just don't, you run out of words to to give the best interview. That's what. And if like if he asks, so how many members do you live, if he has open-ended questions, then you have varieties of options to tell him that I stay with my family around 4 members, and my brothers do that, my mom down, my dad this that. And you just have lots of opinions, lots of open thoughts running in your mind. You could just deliver at the same pace, where the interviewer can be pleased as well, and probably by all these information he might even select you, right? Yeah. Then again, be an observer, or did the interview ask the question and encourage the partner to talk? So if you're interviewer, then like how does he encourage? If yes or no, again, did the interviewer ask more details? Then again, yeah, no, asking more details is very necessary point, though. Like did you get the more information? So like being encouraging the people, or encouraging person who's talking about, then did you get the apt information from asking the questions? Again, did the interviewer take time and ask questions to get the bottom of the topic? So what had happened, again, getting into the bottom of the topic. So it's an interviewer job to do that, right? Then does the interview make you smile, or try to make other person feel comfortable? Then again, it has to be, when you are an interviewer, and you have to make the person who's sitting opposite to you, or if you are attending an interview and if you are an interviewer, then again you have to make that interviewer person who is just coming in, sitting in front of you, you should make him comfortable, so that like he should be able to answer all your questions, so that you understand what is the bottom of the topic, what he tends to get into work, what is his objectives to work in this company, right? So did the interview let the other person talk? So what if I'm the interviewer, and you have you come to the interview, and which I'm taking right now. So what happens, if you don't allow you to speak up, then what happens? Then again, like you just run out of the words, you lose the interest in the job, then again you just quit up the job. Or even though I give the better packages, you probably might reject the offer again. You say, you just tell that I'm not interested in this job again, correct? Okay, so now, like, see, before we go, always remember that Robert Huff said, asking the right questions takes as much skills as giving the right answers. Who, where, what, when, why, how. So for again, five whys again, who so if you are if you as an interviewer, so he does the these questions, helps you develop the conversation, and you understand the topics. Then you also get into the topic basing bottom of the topic, right? Here, coming back to understanding the problem and the users too. Here we're just looking into importance of interview, capturing an interview. Okay, coming back. So we are here in this session, like we'll be understanding the importance of the interview, capturing an interview. Then what is in importance of the interview. So let's see here. Interviews are an important part of creating a solutions. Before we get into creating a solution, we need to understand the problem and people who have the problem. So what happens? There is an often of a difference between what we think of our users need, and again what they actually need. A good interview helps us to identify these differences. So how does an interview help them understand the problem? So if the you can say if you just asking lots of questions, then how would you help it? So let's see the video of here.
Do you aspire to work in the United States of America? Then don't worry. If you
मैंने पढ़ना चाहा लेकिन पढ़ाई नहीं कर पाए। मन चाह रहा था पढ़ने के लिए। काफी कॉलेज दूर है मेरे गांव से।
पेरेंट्स मना करते हैं दूर है मत जाओ ऐसा करके। सुबह से बस ही मिलता ही नहीं है। मैं कॉलेज नहीं जाती। छेड़खानी वगैरह रहता है
कि हम लोग का यहाँ तो कुछ सुविधा है नहीं, इसलिए हम लोग चल के ही जाते हैं स्कूल।
स्कूल जाने में बहुत प्रॉब्लम आती। अगर पुल होता तो हम भी आगे पढ़ सकते थे।
To honor their daughters, September 22 is celebrated as Daughters' Day in India. On this occasion, we spoke to many young girls in villages in Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, and Madhya Pradesh to understand what are the aspirations of these girls for whom education is a luxury.
हमारे घर वाले ने कहा कि स्कूल दूर पड़ता है, इसलिए अकेले थी कास्ट में, तो मैंने नाम ना एडमिशन करा और कास्ट करो अपना। तो घर पे हम सिलाई उलाई करते हैं मगर पढ़ाई नहीं करते। एडमिशन तो करवा रही हूँ, काफी कॉलेज दूर है मेरे गांव से, मैं अकेले कैसे जाऊँ।
According to the report of Internal Journal of Advanced Education and Research, 36% of the girls living in villages discontinued their education because of the conveyance problems in the rural areas, while 33% quit due to negative parental attitude. As of now, only 65.46% of women in India are literate, which is 82.14% for men. Surprisingly, only 50.6% of women living in villages are literate, while it is a whopping 76.9% for women living in the cities. A majority of the young girls interviewed for the story across these states said that they couldn't pursue higher education. Unavailability of public transport, shortage of buses, and missing bridges on the swollen rivers emerged as the main reasons for dropping out.
दूसरी लड़कियां बहुत पढ़ रही हैं, आज क्या कर रही है, जमाना कितना आगे चला गया और हमारे गांव में पुल तक नहीं है। आज अगर पुल होता तो हम भी आगे पढ़ सकते थे, पढ़ाई कर सकते थे, आगे निकल सकते थे, मगर आज हम कहीं नहीं है, घर में हैं, घर का काम करते हैं।
हाँ, आसपास में कॉलेज खुलना ही चाहिए क्योंकि जो नहीं पढ़ रहे वो भी पढ़ सके। दूरी के कारण हम लोग पढ़ाई नहीं कर पाते।
8वीं के बाद लड़कियों को फिर मैंने बंद कर दिया।
अच्छा, क्यों बंद कर दिया?
क्योंकि इधर बैरागढ़ भेजे हम तो दूर पड़ता था और रास्ता भी सुनसान था और आए दिन कुछ न कुछ घटनाएं होती है इस देश में, तो वो हमने इस कारण इनको बच्चों को बंद कर दिया।
क्या आपके मन में कोई डर रहता था?
हाँ, हमारे में डर रहता था, बहुत डर था। जब तक नहीं आते थे, जब तक कि हमारे बेचैनी रही।
इस गांव की कम से कम समझ लो करीब 25-30 बच्चियां ऐसी है जो उन्होंने मिडिल भी पास नहीं की है, क्योंकि ये जोखम मोल लेना नहीं चाहते। आप देखो ना, अधिकारी बड़े बड़े लोग 50 साल 60 साल वाले गिर जाते, अगर बच्चियां गिर गई ऐसे बच्चे, तो आप कैसे बताएं, कैसे बचाएं उनको?
हमारे टीचर्स यहाँ से जाते हैं और उससे साइन करवाते हैं, वो बोल देते हैं हम भेजेंगे, लेकिन ऐसे नहीं है। कुछ लोग मना कर देते हैं कि हम लोग के समाज में पढ़ाने का नहीं है, तो मुस्लिम समाज के लड़के हमारे यहाँ नहीं आ पाते। हाँ, वो भी एक सुरक्षा की दृष्टि से भी वो लोग पेरेंट्स मना कर देते हैं कि हम लोग हमारे बच्चों को इतनी दूर कैसे भेजें।
देश में आए दिन बड़ी बड़ी सिटियों में, दिल्ली में, इधर ऐसी घटनाएं हो रही हैं, तो ये तो गांव का सोने रास्ते हैं साहब। कब पकड़ के बिठा के चले जाए कोई, कैसे भेज सकते हैं बच्चों को?
यहाँ से कॉलेज जाने में बहुत दिक्कत आती है, बहुत दूर भी है। यहाँ खैरागढ़ या धमधा जाना पड़ेगा, जो बहुत दूर है, 25 से 30 किलोमीटर पड़ता है।
अभी तक
तो नहीं हुई, पर हम लोग का डर लगा रहता है ताकि ऐसा कुछ दुर्घटना हो ना जाए। चारों तरफ क्या जंगल वंगल है, इसलिए हम लोग का डर हमेशा ही लगा रहता है कि कहीं कुछ दुर्घटना हो ना जाए।
मैजिक आता है, उससे आते हैं।
अच्छा, और
वो भी भीड़ रहता है, कभी भीड़ तक नहीं ले जाता है।
मैंने 8 तक की क्लास ही की, क्योंकि यहाँ पे स्कूल जाने में बहुत प्रॉब्लम आती है। ब्रिज वगैरह कुछ भी नहीं है, ड्रम से जाना पड़ता है और पलटी खा जाता है, वो डर लगता है उसके ऊपर।
यहाँ हमारे पास में अतरिया बाजार अतरिया है, वहाँ बहुत भी जगह है कॉलेज खुलने के लिए, और बच्चे भी पास पास में है जाने के लिए, तो खुलना चाहिए वहाँ।
मेरी आर्थिक कमजोर होने के कारण मेरी पढ़ाई भी छूट गई और यहाँ दूर था, स्कूल भी दूर थे, इसलिए मुझे जाने में समस्या थी। साइकिल भी नहीं थी और मेरा स्कूल भी दूर था। और जब मेरा इंटर था तो उसके बाद मैंने पढ़ना चाहा, लेकिन पढ़ाई नहीं कर पाई क्योंकि मेरे गांव से कॉलेज भी दूर थी।
मैं अपनी दोस्त की बात बताती हूँ। वो समस्तीपुर से मुजफ्फरपुर आ रही थी। उसके साथ हुआ कि ट्रेन में उसके साथ छेड़खानी हुई। उसने आके मुझे ये चीज बताया। मैंने उसको तुरंत कहा, अगर तू स्टेशन मास्टर या स्टेशन पुलिस को या टीटी को अगर ये चीज वो बोल देती, तो जिसने उसके साथ छेड़खानी किया वो एट द टाइम पकड़ा जाता। बहुत सी लड़कियों को देखती हो, वो लोग झेलना सीख रही हैं। भाई झेलो मत। अभी के दौर में अगर आप लड़ना सीख रहे हो ना, तभी आप आगे भी अपने हक के लिए लड़ाई कर सकते हो।
Okay, see, no, you just saw this video, and what happened is, this interviewers, few, they, went to different part of the India, and they went to different states. They understood the rural problems. Again, they understood, asking different questions. They understood that, the girl education for girls has a big problem in the communities, and they know what were the main causes. They were like, they hadn't, a proper way. They, they had to go by the small, the boat like structure which is made of a drums. Probably that situations, they, while moving up, due to not proper way of, moving, probably that, small kind of boat which has toppled out. They also may, fell into the rivers or water bodies. Again, they had no proper facilities. Again, it's a, like, far away from the city. Again, they didn't, reach the going to their colleges. The rural area people had suffered. Those girls were also interested to have education, but then again, they, didn't have any of the facilities to get the educations. So being an interviewer, you understood the problem. Why, what happened, since when the problem is going on. So each and every stage of the problem, you could have understood while seeing this video. So as an interviewer, if you are in that state and you are asking those girls, how would this problem had arise, then you probably, asking why, how, when did it happen, all those things. Then being an interview, you could just, understand the problem and look out the problem with the different lenses, or looking at the problem from our own eyes or our own point of view, and get step close to the solution. So what kind of solutions can we get? Then again, capturing an interview. So what is and capturing an interview? So for example, asking questions and interviews are a big part of understanding the problem and your users. So while taking to users keep a notes about quotes, so interesting statements that user made about the problem and how it impacted them and their feelings and the thoughts. So like, they were like, just they just quoted that, if they have a proper movement, or this is, if they have a college just near in their rural villages, they could, attend those colleges so that they could study higher. Most of the girls, drop out after 10th. They didn't even pass 10th class. So you just note down the codes. Then again, problems. What are the problems? The user's unique perspectives about the problem. So like, for example, if there is a problem situations in the same problem, or how these problems are addressed by different kinds of people, what are the perspective of the unique persons, you note down that. Then again, opportunities. the user's ideas or thoughts for solutions. So you considers their ideas, their solutions, to bring out some solutions. Then again, insights. So what insight did you get from the interview? For like, what you see, you understood the problem and the users, you uncover the pain points of the users. Then again, you discover the motivation that a user has. Again, find out about the possible solutions, and the solution did not work. All this, right? So for example, let's see this case, meet Sudha, interview script. So like, what if the interviewer says that, what would you say is the biggest challenges in the classroom? So if the interviewer asks that, then Sudha says that the kids, they don't want to come class regularly, they complete their homework, and the parents don't make take any responsibilities. So Sudha is a person who she's a kind of lecturer or something. So she tells that interviewer that, the kids who don't come to classes regularly, they don't do homeworks, the parents don't take responsibilities. And being an interviewer, again, he asks that what are the attendance rate in the class. Then Sudha, the teacher, she says, I don't exactly. The headmistress asks us not to mark too many kids as absent, but there are at least 4 or 5 kids missing each day. Then what if there are 4 or 5 kids missing each day? Then again, headmisters had told the teachers to, they should not mark any kind of um, attendance, this thing. Sorry for the disturbance, and I just got a call. So yeah. Then so like, then again, interviewer asks, can the low attendance in the classroom be related to high student drop or rates? So then again, Sudha says, how can I know? Do you think the teachers are responsible for high drop rates? And again, we have more than 30 students in each class, and I have to take home notebooks to correct homeworks and class tests. I have to start my day at 6 a.m. and I'm correcting notebooks till 11 at night. Then again, in being an interviewer, the person says that, we all have a healthy respect for our teachers, but what do you feel is the reason for the dropout rates? Then the Sudha says that, it's our school system. The kids do not find a way to learn in the classroom useful or interesting. They think, teachers are only interested in the salaries, and they do not their students. The parents' behavior to the towards the teachers, and does not help either. So being an interviewer, let's talk about things that the kids learn on the classroom. Sudha says, look at these books. Do they have interesting, or we try to make the lessons interesting, but they are not always successful. Okay. Interview says, what do you say on that? Again, Sudha says, we have no tools, just a blackboard, and they are like, labs in the school with the senior classes. The equipment is old and doesn't work for the most of the time. Again, the only books in the library are old and free samples we get from the publishers. So what happens in these conditions? The school has a lots of dropout rates. Again, they don't have attendance, proper attendance each every day. Around 4 to 5 students drop out every day, and the students the students are thinking that, like, lecturers or teachers are only interested on the salaries part. So these are the probably conditions that, that's running in the student's mind. So how do you, practice this? What is a practice time? So let's understand this in this video.
आप रोज का अपना खाना पीना कैसे करते हैं? अरेंज हो जाता है। अब दिन का कितना कमा लेते हो? कोई फिक्स लिमिट नहीं है, अप्रोक्सीमेटली 200-250। और आप कितना पढ़े लिखे हो? हाँ, फायदा कुछ नहीं, बताइए ना। हाँ, एक सेकंड, बीकॉम ऑन। ओह नाइस। बट फिर आप ये क्यों कर रहे हो? just because I enjoy my life. You enjoy your life like this? Wait, एक second, hang on. Please wait over here. We actually need to talk to you now. This is actually. नहीं, आप ऐसा नहीं क्यों कर रहे हैं? अरे मैं अपना पेट पाल रहा हूँ यार, और क्या कर रहा हूँ? आप मेरे पास तो अपना आईडी प्रूफ नहीं है right now. So why don't you go and get it? Yeah. Where? There are several offices for it. What is it? तो मतलब आपने कोशिश करी है काम करने की? कोशिश काम किया मैंने 14-15 साल। कौन सी कंपनी में काम किया? सीए करी है? क्या मतलब आप अभी ये सफाई क्यों कर रहे हो? टाइम पास खाली बैठा हूँ तो आप चाहते हो कि हमारी मतलब हमारा भारत साफ रहे? मतलब आप वो समझ रहे हैं कि मतलब जो लोग आके कूड़ा कचरा फेंक जाते हैं, अब हम सबका टाइम है कि हम एक साथ करें। देखिए साहब, है तो बिल्कुल कि हम सबका ही फर्ज बनता है कि सफाई करें, लेकिन हम सब सोचें तो कुछ नहीं होता। वो कहते हैं ना कि हर एक चीज को हमली जामा पहनाना पड़ता है। जब तक आप उस काम को सोचेंगे ना तब तक सोचते रहेंगे, लेकिन जब तक करने के लिए बैठेंगे ना तब तक। तो आप करने निकले मतलब आप दुनिया को दिखाना चाहते हैं कि कोई करे ना करे, हम अकेले खड़े हुए तो हम कर सकते हैं। मैं तो कर रहा हूँ जो मतलब, और इसी के साथ साथ में अपनी कमाई भी कर रहा हूँ। कमाई भी हो रही है मतलब अच्छा, दो नफा है। हाँ अच्छा, एक चीज सोचना एक्चुअली आप बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं। एक्चुअली लोग आपको जानते नहीं है, ये एक अलग बात है। हम कोशिश करेंगे ज्यादा से ज्यादा दुनिया आपके बारे में जाने। भारत का कुछ नहीं होगा अगर जब तक कोशिश नहीं करेंगे तब तक कहाँ से होगा? कोशिश करना ही नहीं चाहता कोई मिलाने की कोशिश तो करो, हम भी तो करने आए हैं, हमें पता है कुछ नहीं होगा, बट एटलीस्ट गिव अ ट्राई, कम ऑन। देश का यूथ तो ट्राई कर रहा है। देश के यूथ को लिए सिर्फ मैं कहूँगा कि जैसे आप लोग कर रहे हो वैसे अगर हर बच्चे के दिमाग के अंदर थोड़ी सी इतनी सोच आ जाए ना 10% भी, तो हमारा देश कहाँ से कहाँ पहुँच जाए। लेकिन हमारे पास 1% भी नहीं, 1% जिसे कहते हैं, हम 10% की बात कर रहे हैं। कि आप छोटी छोटियों वगैरह के अंदर आज भी बच्चे भूखे नंगे पैर पट्टी में लैट्रिन करने जाते हैं। लोगों के पास इतने मोबाइल फोन है लेकिन इतने टॉयलेट नहीं है। वो टॉयलेट पर हमने डेवलप की है, बट समाओ हम कहीं ना कहीं आज भी बहुत पीछे हैं। इसके लिए हमें अपने आप को आगे बढ़ाना पड़ेगा, इसके लिए हमें अपनी सोच बदलनी पड़ेगी। गाँव में से निकले नहीं मान, बट क्योंकि मेरा भारत महान। जय हिंद। Thank you. Today we actually met a beggar who was educated. He had already done BCom honors, and still he is begging. But according to feels, he's cleaning the country, he's cleaning the environment, and bringing in a new change. And if we all get the same mentality, mark my words, my India would be new one, new rising, a new India. So let's get together in this Independence Day. फ्रीडम का जश्न बहुत मना लिया, अब एक साथ एकता का जश्न मनाते हैं। तो आप ये भारत अब हमारा और अब मिलकर कुछ काम करते हैं, एक भारत को सुंदर भारत बनाते हैं। थैंक यू।
So you just saw that how these problems were clean India again. You understood the problem again. You tried to solve it. So you saw the beggar, he has done MBA and he is a chartered accountant. So as in he thinks that he cleans the streets, collecting the garbages. Then again if everyone thinks like the same way, then probably our India might be in a different stage. That he earns that respect, man. So then again so he again you see mark those words on course, problems, opportunities, insights. Again you are on a social problems, you understand the social problem. Parents don't want to send their kids to the school because the school are far away and reliable transport is not available, as I said you in the example. Then again rural women have little or no knowledge about how to manage the money. Millions of kids fall ill every day only because they don't wash hands. Again kids do not understand what are they studying in the school, even they attended school regularly. farmers don't have easy access to their market, sell what they grow. They also have a little knowledge on how the sells and what sells are the best price. Correct. So feedback, so like, as in feedback, when you start getting feedbacks, then what happens, you just understand the situation, you understand what is the problem behind it. So we'll have a team interview, are the right people, do you think someone should be added to the list, and why? Just a second before we go. To find ideas, find problems, talk to people. So what does it say? To if you to find, if you find if you need to find ideas, then you should find problems, and if you want to find problems, you have to speak to people, right? Coming back to empathy, we'll be looking into feelings collage, and again, what would you do, empathy in a social problems, empathy map, belief systems. Okay, like feelings collage. So see, there are different kinds of emojis over here, so there are different feelings, or there is a different the facial expressions showing out their feelings, just showing out different way styles you could just see over here. Happy, sad, crying, angry, all kind of mixed emotions are there here and there. So each and every facial expressions has to be noted down while considering the opinions, or considering their thoughts, or everything. You just need to have all these. But there are again there are different pictures. Again, you could see the difference between this woman and this grandpa. Again, there is a lots of difference between a happy, sad, just focusing up, just he's literally smile broke down inside. Again, angry, tense, all those things, surprise, all those things, right? So all these emotions which are how many emotions can you indulge in your college? So you all also see all these pictures, and then again you just got to know, yeah, even all those things I've done. Probably you, if you're doing reels or on Instagrams and all, then you see you do all those kind of emotions, you try to show up your best, in a video format. Then again, you understand the feelings of the person. So like, what if if your best friend is you're not able to cope up with some kind of heartbreaks, then you just understand of the person's empathy. You see that person's feelings, you look at his face, even though the person is like just sitting mum, and he's not speaking up, then you by the facial expression you understand something is wrong with him. So you just reach him out, then you ask him, what's wrong, man, right? So you just provoke him to speak, so that he just open up his problems. Then you understand his problem, you might help him out with the problem again. Correct. Then here are some few social problems like child marriage, illiteracy, unemployment, poor medical facilities in our community. Correct. Then and again, you just being an observer, what kind of roles are the users do it again, what way the observation in the role and the problem solvers can do it. Then again, what are the easiest difficulty in the problems? Again, what support would you require to be more empathetic in the process of problem solving? Then again, then why is empathy a problem solving social problem? So why empathy is required in a social problem? So if you understand, if you are an interviewer, then you see as problem solvers, you do think as an important of being empathetic, if as why. So to solve a social problem, you need to understand what is going on. You need to understand what is the important of it, what is the drawback within the users. So you understand the being empathetic. Is he happy with the problem with a product, or if he's angry on the product, or if he's like just quite okay with it? No, you just, and you also notice with empathetic situation, or you just notice on empathetic facial expressions, in order you just come to a conclusion that, yeah, my product, like if I launch a product, and if you ask, if you see the users or customers, you see a facial expression on their being empathetic, then you consider that empathetic also matters for you to come into the conclusions, right? Then again, empathy map for see, you could see here, if you're feeling nervous, then what are you thinking? Am I making mistakes? Or if you think your mistakes, then you tend to say sorry. Or what do you do at that time? You take deep breaths in order to have a proper thinking mindset. Again, if you're feeling happiness, what do you think? Oh, thank God, I have done my best. Then what do you say? oh, I'm happy much, I have done my best. Then again, what do? You just party yourself, or you just have a drink, or you just have a watch a movie, or you just have a peaceful night of sleep. Or if you're feeling sadness, what do? What do you think? Where have I done? You just start thinking negatively, or you probably, if you're too into sadness, again, you say, you say, am I the only person who is facing the sadness? And what do? It, you just you try to cry, or you just sit in the dark room. Correct, right? If you're feeling anger, what do you say? Hey, I have done my best, man. What's wrong with that person? So I don't understand that. Correct. So again, you say, you think like that, and again you say, yeah, I am truthful for myself. Again, what do? Again, you stick to your own decision, your own plans, right? And if you fear, what do you think? Okay, you just think on how to face it out. So you just then again you say, oh God, just please help me out in this. Again, you do, you just you have to do it, right? So these are the different kinds of formats, or these are the different kinds of empathies which are required in your daily day-to-day life, so which are used by you in a daily life basis. What if, like, people say that you things are that are either similar or different from how would you process the same feelings? For instance, some people take deep breaths, and when they're nervous, other prefers to go look for a long walk. Or like when you are a designer, you need to be empathetic in order to understand how your users are feeling. Doing this will help you connect with properly, instead of assuming things that would have not told you. So all this, being empathetic, you understand the people a lot more, being from the informative problem lines, right? Then again, you make them comfortable in the space and listen to them patiently. You ask them questions. Then additionally, while doing all these things, you make sure that putting yourself in their shoes and try to understand their perspective and their opinions. Correct. You also look into responsibilities, helping mentally and justice. So what we just do is, is done two ways, that showing empathy while we are taking care of your users. So when you have your users, and you just list down two ways that being empathetic to help your own users, then what happened, you understand that, then you understand the empathy, the problem solving is. Then again, is patiently, like, if you are asking questions, you try to patiently listen those lines. Again, you try to assume what's only you be in their own shoes, and you try to understand what's the problem behind that. Okay. Or empathy is seeing with the eyes of another, listening with the ears of another, and the feeling with the heart of another. So that is empathy, it is said. Okay. Next, now let us looking into framing the problem statement. The topics we'll be covering today is introduction to the problem statements, create your own problem, significance of the problem statements, identify the components of the problem statements, rate the problem statements. Again, um, okay, so we'll be looking into problem statements again. As I was telling, introduction to problem statements. Calabar is a heavily populated, and results to show that 70% of the individuals and the businesses are storing the refuses waste materials. 95% use open dumps, and 65% use their refuses into gutters. So what happens is the effect has led into insufficient waste disposal and unhygienic businesses and home environment. Business and home owners have tight schedule and prevents them into disposing of their waste regularly and have their own or no frequent visits on the waste disposal agencies. Our team purposes have to provide a platform for the fast food companies, hotels, individuals to dispose their waste in conveniently and on time. We will provide pickup cards and go to their waste or in order to reduce associates with a health risk. Will educate citizens to affect their improper waste disposals and will provide updates and the tips on the best practices. So what is the problem team trying to solve? So here is the Calabar is the most populated city and has 70% of the individuals where businesses stores around 95% of the waste are dumped into are open dumps again. Then again the 65% are dumped into gutters. So all these creating a havoc in the environmental home environment. All these bringing into unhygienic way of living lifestyles. All this a team came up and they're trying to solve is cleaning up. How could these pollutions or the populated materials, waste materials can be reduced in order to bring a hygienic way living state. So how does the problem affect and how? So that's what when the open dumps are and the waste materials are dumped into gutters, then again it has unhygienic lifestyle, whereas creating a lot of health issues. Again, how why it is important to solve this problem. Then if the problem isn't solved, then again you tend to have a stinkiness of the nearby neighborhood. Again, again each and every day, day by day, if the waste materials are thrown here and there, then again you have lots of unhygienic way again of lifestyle. So what is a problem statement? Problem statement is a brief piece of writing that explains the problem your team is addressing. So a problem statement is you just try to solve a problem via problem statement. So you understand how the problem is. You go look out the basic facts. What are the effects on that. And what is the solution? What was the cause? What was the root cause? Correct. Then again you what is the important thing that you write the problem statement together as a team, that all agree and remain focused on the problem solving. So you just put up your own situation and you try to solve the problem. You create your own situation in your mind within your team, and you try to solve it. So all these cases, what happens is you try to solve the problem. Tips to follow while creating your own problem statement. So ensure that your problem statement is perfectly original, or check if the if it is providing a right direction regarding the purpose of the solutions. It should be precise and presented to a simpler manner. It should declare all assumptions and limitations are in the statement. Again, then again you just create your own kind of situation or problems. If you're looking into a solution. Now, here, let's look it out here. Identify the components of the problem statement. Let's watching the videos in this.
ಹಾಲಿಡೇ ಪ್ಲಾನಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಮೂವಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಡ್ರಾಮಾ. ಆ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ನನ್ನ ಗೊಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಬುಕ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. 16 ಕೋಟಿ ಆಪ್ ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ಸ್, 29 ಲಕ್ಷ ಹೋಟೆಲ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಹೋಮ್ ಸ್ಟೇಸ್, ರೋಚಕ ಬೆಲೆ. ಅಗೋಡ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿ.
So you understood what like if the problems if the problems are like this, what would be the current state of the problem, as is as shown in the video. So you like who is the target people and the solution was designed. So like if the solution is designed, and who are the target people, like who would be benefited from the idea, like from the current state, they're like a girl getting climbing down the well and collecting that water for their to quench their thirst. Again, uh, there are lots of future ideal future situation in the villages. You could see the in that video, the village looks like full of droughts, and again they don't have plenty of water. Again, just collecting the few bits of waters, again collecting in their own vessels, and just helping out others to get water as well. So imagine you are the problem solver, and create your own problem statement for the solutions situation, problem. So you create you assume something, you try to create a new other problem which might arise. What if what if the girl is while getting down, and if she falls down, what would have happened? Probably there what if she has have a severe injuries, what would have happened then? Excuse me. The purpose of the framing of problem statement is to identify the current state and decide future state and any other gaps between these two. So like if the situation is like that, we just like creating a problem statement helps you to have to know the current state and the future state, or the gaps between these two kind of states, and this will provide you and your team a definite direction towards work. So it will give you a route map, or just you can see you can have a grip on it, on where to just look out for it. And also, when you have a form of problem statements, you don't see a problem as a complex and unsolvable things. Instead, it becomes a very easy and understand to accessible. Again, you see rate these problems. Again, many teachers and educational researchers state that the increasing the difficulty levels in examinations can have a harmful effects on the students, especially the students who are not strong academically. With the colleges and educational institutions having entrance tests and have other examinations with a high cutoffs, most students are bound to leave schools or colleges, or once they are beginning experiencing difficulty passing these tests. The persons who have organizations investigate whether the increased standards in the form of minimum competency tests or entrance examinations. These influence students' decisions to leave schools before graduations. So, if they do not have influence, they need to reconsider their goals for implementations of such standards. So, these kind of problem statements are made so that they can have a effective well-being. How much would you rate this? Yeah, like probably just would be rating with the below 2 or 3, right? And again, sales managers are spending 20% of their each time of working compelling sales reports for their managers, reducing the number of hours available for them to handle their own responsibilities. This is the productive issues. Ignoring it results in decreased sales and missed revenues targets. XYZ company is committed to the reducing in time spent compiling reports, and to more to 10% of the sale managers time in weeks. By examining the current sales reports or processes, XYZ company can determine how to reduce the amount of time sales managers spend on the compiling reports. Again, all these are the set of examples. Just tend to rate below 5 or below 3 or 4. Okay, then the education system in India is one of the largest in the world. Over 260 million children studying in more than 1.5 million schools across the country. Each year are estimated 6 million children completing 8 years of compulsory schoolings in India with alarmingly low learning levels. And again, more than half of these children are unable to read simple text, or do basic mathematics at the level of expected of them being as early as class 3. So our main objective is to build and demonstrate a large scale education reform could be conducted, and we can also work on the co-design and deliver a program that can show significant increase in the fundamental learning at scale. So here you can just give it around 4 or 5 rating. Again, it has different prospects of ideas or the solutions. So being justifying all these with a problem statement, helps you out rating that. Before we go, a problem well started is a problem half solved. So if you list down problems, if you have a problem, you list it down problems, then half of your problems is solved. That's what it says. A problem is well stated. So if what is a problem, how it is, how occurred, and what kind of a problem is it, since when the problem has arrived. So all this, stating a problem is a half solved problem. So you understand the problem, what is the problem, and how can it be solved, what are the solutions, alternative solutions, you are out of the what kind of solutions, what are the different kind of solutions you tend to have, you get to know and you understand the mindsets. Okay, you understand the problem, right? Then your problem is half solved there, then and there itself. Okay, till here I'll just from tomorrow I'll be continuing this. Thank you for being so patient. Thank you everyone. Let's see you tomorrow. Bye bye.